In this video, I'm going to break down what exam waivers are, who qualifies, and how you can apply for them.
This day that God is giving me, I'm not gonna waste this joy deep down inside me. I'm not gonna shake, been stressed for so long, so stuck in my own way, so I'ma enjoy this moment. It's the day that
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're applying to study abroad, you've probably seen schools asking for exams like SAT, TOEFL, IELTS, GRE, But do you really need to take these exams? So let's start with the SAT. The SAT waivers. Do you really need to take SAT? What is SAT? SAT is a scholastic assessment test and it is usually required for undergraduate admissions in the US. There are some schools that offer this test optional policy. That means that you don't have to have SAT before you can apply to their program. Okay? But let's talk about it generally. Who can skip the SAT? Number one, if you are applying to a test optional school or a test blind school, okay, that means it is either not compulsory or they don't even require it at all. Number two, if you are an international student, some schools do not require you to have the SAT. Okay? So always check. Number three, if you are applying to a university or community college that do not require SAT at all, so you can skip the SAT. So it boils down to you checking the universities or your program requirements for SAT if they require SAT or not. So always check. That is that about SAT. Now let's talk about the GRE. Who can get the GRE waivers? What is GRE? GRE is the graduate record examination and it is a common requirement for masters and PhD programs. So, and we also know that there are some schools that they offer this GRE optional policy. It's not a must, right? So you can either decide to submit the GRE or not. Okay. But who qualifies for a GRE waivers? Let's talk about this. Number one, if a school has a GRE optional policy for your program, you can decide to skip the GRE. Number two, if you have a strong academic background, and when I'm talking about strong academic background, I'm talking about IGPA or a relevant work experience or a relevant research experience. So let me give you an example. There was a time I wanted to ask, I did not write GRE. I wanted to ask a school for GRE waiver. I wanted to apply to their program, but I did not write GRE. So I sent them an email and asked them, please, can I get a waiver? This is my qualifications. And they told me, oh yeah, sure. But based on certain conditions, you have to write a research statement, a research proposal, which is different from a statement of purpose. So don't think it's a statement of purpose. And then I was like, okay, sure. So that was their own requirement for them to waive the GRE. So if you have a research experience or relevant to that program or a relevant work experience or a high GPA, you might be considered for a waiver. And number three, some universities they automatically like they waive this GRE for you if you are from a certain country or you have like certain qualifications, they will waive it for you. Okay, maybe you're applying for a PhD program, you already have masters, or you have PhD before you want to do PhD again, or you have certain conditions. So you have to ask. In fact, there are some schools that they do not even require GRE at all. So you want to check. You want to just make sure you're checking the program. So don't just assume that it's all schools that require GRE. I hope you understand. The third one, the IELTS or TOEFL. So these are like the English test exams. So let's talk about IELTS. IELTS is the International English Language Testing System, and TOEFL is the test of English as a foreign language. Okay, so these are exams that are required for non-native English speakers that wants to study in an English-speaking country. Okay, so who can get a TOEFL or IELTS waiver? Let's say you were being taught in an English speaking country or your previous degree was taught in English language, then you might qualify for a waiver. Number two, if your country official language is English language, you might qualify for a waiver. Number three, there are some universities that just require you to provide an English proficiency statement, and with that, you just automatically get a waiver. I think I've talked about English proficiency before, so you can check that video. Okay. Then some universities can just list some countries that they don't need to submit the test scores. Okay, so always check. And regardless of this, there are still some universities that even though you are from an English speaking country or anything, you still have to submit the test scores. So always check. Okay. Now let's talk about how to apply for this waiver. It's just very simple. Let's say, okay, you want to apply for a waiver for a school. You want to see if you qualify for a GRE, especially GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, or SAT. Like, if you want to ask for a waiver, you need to check the school policy, check their program. If they say, oh, yes, there's a waiver, you can ask for a waiver. So, message the credit coordinator or the mail or the people in charge, message them and let them know this is what you want. You're asking for a waiver, this is your qualification. Like, and always remember to ask politely. You're not like just ask politely. You're required you need a waiver. What do you have to do and all that kind of thing. So always ask questions. That is that. And then you can just send an email. You submit the waiver form and make sure you get a confirmation that it has been waived for you. Okay. Now this is where I'm gonna stop. Should you still take this exam anyway, even though there are waivers here and there? So if you're in this category, I think you should take the exam. If you have a low academic background, I think taking the GRE or GMAT can help. Okay. Number two, if you're applying to multiple programs, you want to apply, you want to spread your applications, I think you should write the GRE because that is going to give you more options to apply to. So there is nothing like you already removed that factor, that limiting factor of no GRE. So you automatically can apply to all schools because there are some schools that you have to have GRE. There are some positions, some advert that have been seen that you see that oh you have to have GRE before you can apply. So I think if you want to have more options, you want to beat competition and there are some things that when the requirement is just a little bit not to add, people apply to that. So if you want to just stand out and just apply to less pool, like just small pool and less competitive, I think you should take the GRA. So you can plan on that. And then you also need to understand that there are some scholarships, certain scholarships that test scores you have to have the test scores before you can apply. Even though you are from an English speaking country, you need those test scores. Okay. I think you should understand that it takes time to prepare. Okay. You don't just wake up one day and just say 2 weeks time I'm writing this. You have to prepare, right? So prepare and get your exams scores ready, get your test scores ready. So okay. And always remember to check the requirement, check the university's requirement. Don't just assume that oh, it's automatically waived or it's a must. You need to have this exam. I hope you found this helpful. You can also drop a comment in the comment section if you have any question. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.